Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Kat and I'm a flight attendant with a major US airline. Please ignore the paint on my hands. Y'all know I love a good set of nails, but I do not have nails on because I have been painting and trying to redo some of the house. It's also in my hair, so if you see some white in my hair, unfortunately I'm not getting older and wiser. I am just getting older and it's a bunch of paint in my hair. So bear with me. Hopefully when you go to your interview, you look a lot more presentable than what I look right now. But anyways, I'm excited to make today's video. I know it's not going to be for everybody. I do know I have people that watch my videos who have zero interest in becoming a flight attendant. But on the other hand, I do know this video is going to be for some of you. And for those of you who this video is for, I am about to help you in a major way. I'm about to give you my top 10 tips for getting hired as a flight attendant. You guys, these are some good ones. If you really take in what I'm saying, you really think on it, you really do what I'm telling you to do, you will be hired as a flight attendant. Now, I'm not gonna lie, some of these are going to take a bit of practice. They're gonna take some work. You're gonna have to put that in there. But if you do what I say, you're gonna be up in the air with me, and I cannot wait to add you to the flight attendant family, preferably with my company. But any company will basically do. I love having new flight attendants up in the air. I love meeting you guys. So the more, the merrier, and I'm about to help you out. But before we get into that, I do want to go ahead and thank today's sponsor. So today's video is actually being sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for curious and creative people. Skillshare allows you to learn a new skill, deepen existing passions, and really just get lost in your own creativity. But one of the things I love about Skillshare is the fact that it is curated specifically for learning. This means there are zero ads, and they're constantly launching new premium classes for you to check out. And they have classes in such a broad range of topics, everything from creative writing to illustration to drawing to film to marketing to social media, and I haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg. But one of the classes that I have recently decided to take is called Interior Design, Interior Decorate Like a Boss by Rose Sprinkle. And I decided to take this course because we moved into our new house and I have been redoing a ton of the house, redecorating, and really trying to get more into my own vibe and more into my own interior design, including this room that you're kind of seeing right now. And one of the things that I took away from Rose's course is the fact that you need to ask yourself, what is the mood? What is the mood for the room that you are in? What are you trying to achieve and how you feel? And that is going to help you decorate. So for example, I love the color black, but is that the mood that I necessarily want for my house? No, only in like little bits and pieces. For me, I really like some calming space. I really like a lot of room for creativity. I don't like a lot of junk. I want everything to really just have a meaning and make me feel very good. So I tend to love the neutrals, especially like the cool tone neutrals. So I like my grays, I like my natural browns, I like the accents of black, but I don't need a whole room being black. I like my whites. I love very neutrals, and then to add plants and spice things up. So if you're interested in taking the course that I took, or any of Skillshare's amazing courses, you can do that today. Not to mention the first 1,000 people that go down to my description box below and click that link will be getting a free trial for an entire month of Skillshare's premium memberships, so you can also get lost in your own creativity. So once again, thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back into it because I'm about to get you hired. Okay, so for tip number one, I can already feel the eyes rolling into the back of the head. I know this is going to be the most generic one that you have been given time and time again, but there's a reason you have been given it time and time again. There's a reason I have included it, and that's because so many people forget. You get so nervous and you get so wrapped up in what's going on, you don't remember this one, and it's probably one of the most important ones, and that is to smile. You guys, I know y'all have just been told this, just like beaten to death with this one, but please smile. And I'm talking from the moment that you land on that company property for your interview until the time that you leave, there needs to be a big old smile on your face. And obviously the most genuine you can make it, the better. Like a cringy smile like this, it's hard. It's really hard. Like, try to have a genuine smile. Try to be happy to be there. They know you're gonna be nervous. Everybody's gonna be nervous. I mean, this is your life on the line. This is your future career. This is like your chance and your time to shine. But do not let all of that overwhelming stuff get in the way of having this gorgeous smile and just being happy and excited to be there. Because the way that I really think about this is the fact that they're looking for the ideal flight attendant. And you guys, these people, like, they are good at their job. I'm not kidding you. The interviewers are good at their job. And you know, they read energies, they read personalities, they read authenticity. And so you have to be good. I mean, this is what they do for a living. They're good at it. So you want to come and bring some positivity. You want to lighten up the mood, bring some energy, have a smile on your face. I'm telling you, even if you go to the bathroom, you guys, I'm not saying they're going to be watching you in the stall, but they do watch you a lot while you're there. So if you're going to go get a snack or you're going to go take a potty break, guess what needs to be on your face? It's going to be the best potty break you've ever had. It's going to be the best, most delicious snack you've ever had. Like, I'm telling you, when you're pouring your water, it needs to be the happiest, most exciting water you've ever poured, because that's the kind of energy they are looking for when you get onto the plane. When you're actually dressed up in your flight attendant outfit, they want you to be happy. They want you to be excited to be there and excited to work for them. They want you to make their customers happy. The passengers are their customers, and they need good customer service, which starts with you. So you need to be happy, you need to be smiling, and honestly, practice it. While you're walking around your house, practice the smile, because you want it to be as authentic and as genuine as possible, because again, these people are professionals and they read energy for a living. Okay, and tip number 2, I have told this one to my audience before, but if you have not watched that video, this is gonna be a good one. And that is to call people by their names. Make it a point, especially to the interviewers, especially to HR that is at your interview. Make sure that you are calling people by their names. Memorize their names, because that's what they're going to want you to do when you go onto the plane to the first class passengers. They want you to call those passengers by their names. That is so important. I'm telling you, you guys, your ears need to be buzzing on this one. This is a good one. That's something they're going to teach you. They're going to beat you over the head with it in training, that they want you to call the first class passengers by their names. Hello, Mr. Smith. Like, even if you butcher the name, which trust me, I have butchered some names, but even if you do, that person's just excited to be called their name. Like, how happy do you feel when somebody's like, hello, Mr. or Mrs. your name, insert your name here, but you feel excited even if they butcher it. You know what? You know how many pilots, I'm about to throw some pilots under the bus here, but do you know how many pilots have called me Pat with a P? They think it's Pat, because when I say cat, especially when I have the mask on, they think it's Pat, and so the whole flight they'll call me Pat. And do I correct them? No. 1, because part of me thinks it's kind of funny, but 2, does it really matter? I'm just happy that they made an effort to memorize my name. And the same thing goes for your first class passengers. You're gonna have a tablet that's gonna have their name, and even if you gotta write it down on your menu when you're taking orders as a cheat sheet, do it. But when you go to the interview, they're expecting the same behavior, because the interview, how you show up to the interview is how they want you to show up to the plane. They want the ideal flight attendant, which, if y'all don't know my story, when I did my interview, I definitely butchered somebody's name. So do it. Call them by their names, whether that's other people that are at the interview or the instructors themselves, especially the instructors themselves. Call people by their names. Which leads me into tip number 3, which is to be a team player. You guys, being a flight attendant is a team sport. And here's what I mean. Like, you're pretty much going to be working on a plane with usually 1 to up to 3 other people, but sometimes you can be working with a lot more than that. Sometimes you can be working with like 12 other people, depending on the plane that you are on. And you each have your own roles, your own kind of thing that you're supposed to be doing, but collectively you have to work together to make that a good flight. Especially, imagine this. Imagine you're in a medical emergency. Are you going to take that on and be a one-man band by yourself on a medical? Absolutely not. So you need to be able to work with other people. So the best way to translate this into your interview is to compliment other people, memorize their names, feed off their energy. You guys, these people, if they get hired, does not mean that you're not going to get hired. Like, them being hired has nothing to do with you. These are your teammates. They're supposed to be there helping you. Do not think of them as your competitors. They're there for you. You getting hired has nothing to do with them, and vice versa. So be nice, be kind, compliment them, but be genuine, you guys. Like, don't do the mean girl thing where it's like, that's a nice skirt, where did you get it? Like, that's the ugliest skirt I've ever seen. Don't do it. Don't do it. Be genuine. Give them good compliments. Like, I don't know how COVID has played into this, but usually there's like a group activity where you're going to be doing something as a group. That is prime time to compliment and encourage other people and be genuine about it. You want to see them succeed, because you guys, some of these people, I'm telling you, it always happens. Some of the people that you're being interviewed with are also, you're gonna see them again in training. So they're gonna remember you. So then when you go off to training, you're gonna see some very familiar faces. I know I for sure did. I was like, oh, hey, that's so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. Work together as a team to accomplish whatever you're gonna be doing and have fun while you're doing it. I know you're gonna be nervous while being there, but just smile, laugh, have fun, work together. But I also do wanna say this is like, sometimes you are gonna have to step into the lead role. You are gonna be the lead flight attendant. So they are looking for a leader who takes initiative. So like if it comes to like answering a question or anything, you don't wanna step on people's toes, but feel free to answer the question. Feel free to take initiative, but you're also going to need to work as a team player because being a flight attendant is a team activity. Which leads me into number 4. You do not want to hog the interview. You guys, every flight attendant interview that I have been to, there's always at least 1 or 2 or 3 people that do this. And here's what I'm saying. They think they ace the interview because their energy is up here. They're basically controlling the scene. Like all eyes are on them. They're like the spotlight of the interview, which they think is a good idea. But here's the problem with that. The stronger of a personality you have, the stronger of a presence you have, the less likely you're going to be able to be a team player to other people. The stronger the personality, the harder usually it is, the more polarizing that person is to get along with. So you definitely want to lead with your best foot forward. Take initiative, like be a leader, answer some questions first, but do not step on toes and do not hog the entire interview. It's not all about you. There's other people there that are trying to get hired as well. So you want to be there and you want to make yourself known, but in a good way. So you want to make sure that, hey, I'm here and I don't mind taking initiative, but I can also step back and be a team player so this person can answer a question. So these people can step up and do something because they want to see multiple people and how you all work together collectively. So I've seen this time and time again where somebody kind of hogs the interview and it doesn't go out well for them and they think they aced it. They leave there feeling like they aced it, and imagine that bittersweet feeling. And I'm sure, unfortunately, some of you guys probably have thought the same thing where you thought you aced it and maybe this was where you all went wrong. Maybe you kind of hogged the interview and you didn't realize it. So, you know, when you're doing your one-on-one and you're answering questions, they pull you aside, you're with HR and with the instructors, depending on how they do the interviews now, especially with COVID. But usually that is your time to shine when you're on your one-on-one. But when you're with other people, you want to make sure that you are not hogging all of the spotlight. And now for tip number 5, you need to practice answering interview questions. And you know, you guys, I bet there's going to be 2 specific questions you are like 99.9% going to be asked. Number 1, what is good customer service? Number 2, why do you want to be a flight attendant? And you guys, do not get your answers off Glassdoor. Stop it. Don't do it. They look at it. They also look at these videos that I'm making right here. So the answers I'm going to give you, don't use it. Stop it. They watch this stuff. But here's for me how I would answer that. What is good customer service? For me, good customer service is creating a personalized experience for a person. So don't say like,
oh, it's about making this person feel like they're the only one on the plane.
no, they're not. There's another 199 of them plus on that plane. It's not just about them. They know they're not going to be the only person on the plane. There's a lot of them. And if you're devoting all your time to this one person, what does that say about the other 199 of them on the plane? You get what I'm saying? So for me, it's all about creating a personalized experience to them. And what I mean by that is it's like calling somebody by their name, making them feel special and welcome to be on there. They don't need to be the only person on the flight. They're never going to be the only person on the flight, almost ever, guaranteed. So it's really just about personalizing their experience and making it good. Now obviously take your own answer, twist it how you want, put some finesse on it, you know, put your own little flavor in that question. But for me, that's how I would answer it. It's all about just personalizing their experience, making sure they have a good personalized experience. Come prepared with at least 2 answers, because what happens if you're in a group interview and somebody takes your answer? What are you going to say then? Now you're stuck because now you rehearsed only 1. So come with at least 2 answers to the question. Obviously have it like a plan A and a plan B depending on what other people answer, but really like come up with something that makes sense. It has to make sense. It's kind of like what I'm saying. Like, you don't want to say it's all about making them feel like they're the only person on the plane. they're 100% not the only person on the plane. So make it make sense, but make it good. It's doing little things. Good customer service is really about doing the details. The devil is in the details. It's about like fixing the snack basket so it looks really nice. It's about calling people by their last name. It's about remembering call bells. It's the remembering call bells is just funny because like there's been a few times. I'm not gonna say me. Allegedly it's about memorizing that stuff because I may or may not have forgotten a call bell or two in my time, especially during boarding. There's a lot going on. So it's really just about looking after and caring about the people on your plane. So make the answer make sense as to what good customer service really is to you. Like think about it. Like when you go somewhere, what is it like to you? Now, why do you want to be a flight attendant? And I know we're all thinking the same cringy answer right now.
Because I love to travel.
That's not your answer. That's not your answer. You guys, it's not your answer. It's not your answer. You need to come up with a better answer. There are so many more things about being a flight attendant than just traveling. Like, don't get me wrong. We all love to travel. You wouldn't be in that interview if you did not like to travel. You wouldn't be making being a flight attendant your lifestyle if you didn't like to travel. So you gotta come up with a little bit of a better answer than that. Like think really like what does a flight attendant do? Like you're servicing after people, you're constantly meeting new people, you're constantly going to new places, you're getting cultural awareness and really broadening your ideas and your values in the world. You're really expanding yourself. Like touch on something more along those lines. Touch on like go deeper into yourself as to how is being a flight attendant going to change your life? What is it going to mean to you? Like really dive into yourself and think like, is it going to make you really expand your knowledge, get cultural awareness, things like that. Like really gear more towards that. They know you like to travel. They don't need to be told. We all know you like to travel. If you're there, you like to travel. Most people like to travel. That's not your answer. Also answer interview questions that you might not think that they'll ask, even if like they won't ask it. Practice answering interview questions that just in general is going to get you ready because practice makes perfect. I know y'all heard this, especially if you played sports back in the day. How you practice is how you play. So practice answering questions because then when they might throw a question, like a curveball question that you didn't even know was coming, you're already kind of rehearsed into memorizing like what you think they're going to ask or how to answer questions. So you're not going to be so thrown off. And even practice with other people. Like grab a friend or record yourself. Like I did this. Record yourself with your phone. It's cringy as heck, especially for the video interview. How you record yourself, make sure you got the good lighting and that stuff, is how you're gonna do your good interview. And so you can watch back and give yourself like some real feedback on how are you doing. But practice makes perfect with the interview questions. And tip number 6, you need to be and dress professionally. Now, this one I get asked a lot. It's because a lot of people are told like when you go to an interview, you need to look the part. And so they ask about the scarf. Like, should I wear a scarf to the interview? Now, personally, I would tell you no. I think it's a bit corny and a bit cheesy. Now, if you're set on wearing a scarf, do not let me stop your thunder, girl. Like, you go and do that. But I personally do think it's a little bit cheesy. It's a little bit corny. But if you want to do it, do it. I don't think you're not going to get hired because you wore a scarf. And I don't think you're also going to get hired because you wore a scarf. I think the scarf is like more something you just wear on the line. It's kind of like what you think of a flight attendant, but I don't think you necessarily need to wear it in your interview. What you do need to do is you need to dress professional. Like, how does a flight attendant dress? Like, what are the pieces we wear? Like, I know for the ladies, we wear pants sometimes with a nice blouse. We wear skirts with a nice blouse and a button-up. We wear dresses that are very professional and professionally fitted. These are things that you should keep in mind as a female. As a male, what do they wear? They wear slacks, a blouse, a vest, and a button-up jacket. These are things you should wear. Also keep in mind what shoes are you gonna wear. Make sure your shoes are nice and shined. Don't wear scuffed shoes if you can. That was like something like my grandfather always said, like make sure you shine your shoes before you go to an interview. I think it's kind of like an older thing, but it's well intended, like because the devil is in the details, like I said. Especially ladies when it comes to like your lashes and your nails and your makeup. Like, do not get me wrong, I love a full glam. I love me some long nails. I love me some jewels. I love me some designs. I love me some long lashes. I love the whole thing. I like to just show out. but there's a time and a place, and the interview is not it. Like, stay away from like white nail polish, black nail polish, crazy colors. Really go to more towards like the neutrals, like a soft pink, maybe a red. Like, try to stay in that sweet zone that's like really friendly to an interview. If you like long lashes or your lash extensions, maybe tone it down. Extensions, I don't even think I said that right. Maybe tone it down before you go. Like, maybe go a little bit more subtle. Less is sometimes more. And don't get me wrong, like, y'all know I love my makeup. I own Cata Cosmetics. I love makeup. I love long nails, which right now the only reason I don't have them is because of the painting. So don't show up looking like me, a whole mess. Also, think of your hair. Like, what does your hair look like? Men, what do your beards look like? You need to be well groomed. Make sure your nails are clean. Make sure your nails are well cut. Like, this is stuff, because if you can't even be bothered to look nice in your interview and to really try in your interview, they know darn well you are not going to be bothered when they're calling you at 3 a.m. that you have a 5 a.m. sign-in. Like, they know if you can't even be bothered at your interview, you're not going to be bothered at the line. So it goes back to, what does the ideal flight attendant look like? Look sharp, like look like you did not come to play. You need to be confident. And again, like, you don't have to do something that's not you. For example, like, I don't like pearls. I just don't. It's not my thing. It's not my style. If you're into the Chanel vibe with the pearls and all that, I love that for you. But for me personally, it's not my style. So what do? I just don't wear it. You know, like, even if you love like big jewelry and stuff, maybe tone it down, but you don't have to stray away from who you are. You might need to finesse a little bit, you know, you might put a little lipstick on the pig, but you don't need to completely go opposite of what you are, because again, their job is to read energies and authenticity, and they are very darn good at it. So make sure that you're staying true to who you are, but just like dressing it up a little bit more, you know? Does that make sense? Ladies, I know I'm gonna get some questions about the hair. I would say if it's longer than this, I would probably throw it up. I would probably throw it up, because at the end of the day, like, that's usually what most airlines require. So if your hair is a bit longer, throw it up. If it's short, keep it down. Just whatever you do though, make it professional, make it look nice. Make sure that you put effort into it, because then they're gonna know if she puts effort into here, she probably cares about her appearance and is going to put effort over here. And same for him. If he puts effort in here, he probably cares about his appearance and his image and how he comes off to people. So he's going to do it over here too. And that's really what they're looking for when it comes to how you are dressed and what you appear like. All right, and tip number 7. You want to be memorable, but in the right way. You want to be remembered for how you came and you looked professional. You answered your questions amazing. You radiated all this positive energy and the vibes, and you nailed it from start to finish. And they are so excited to have somebody like you on the line as a flight attendant. That's how you want to be remembered. Be remembered because you call people by their name. Be remembered because you just looked to the 9s, to the 10s, to the gods. Do not be remembered for the wrong stuff, you guys. Like, again, like hogging the interview. Don't be remembered as being the loudmouth that wouldn't shut up and let anybody else speak. Like, don't be remembered by saying or doing something very bizarre that people are like, what in the world? Don't be remembered for like having like this ridiculous outfit and like way too much makeup and or not brushing your hair. Like, make sure that when you leave that interview, they remember you, but they remember you for the good things. They remember you in the right way. You want to be memorable in the right way. You don't want to be forgettable. You don't want to blend into the wall. You don't want to be a wallflower. They know you're going to be nervous, but be memorable so they're like, yeah, that person, oh yeah, they did really good. In the right way, for the right stuff. You don't want to be the hot topic of galley talk and gossip after the interview is all said and done, right? Right. Okay, now tip number 8. I personally think this is probably the most important tip I can give you, and that is to imagine yourself in the interview doing really well. And not even just that, imagine yourself being a flight attendant. Imagine yourself, like, feel excited and imagine yourself in that role. Like, what is it going to be like? Like, what is it going to be like to greet people on the plane? What is it going to be like to serve beverages to people? What is it going to be like to do all of the things? Put your suitcase in the overhead bin every day, to check all your safety equipment. Like, what is that going to be like for you? Like, really imagine that, because your brain is a powerful tool. And if you believe in manifestation or law of attraction or any of that sort of stuff, then that plays right into it. If you don't, that's okay. I understand. I'm a little nutty. me, so it makes sense to me. And again, it goes right back to how you practice is how you play. So in your head, if you're imagining yourself just excited to be there, greeting people, everybody loves you, you're doing really well, you're memorizing everybody's name, you're just nailing it, you're dressed fabulously, you're enjoying yourself, you're radiating all the energy. Sit there and role play it out in your head of how it's gonna go, or even like what your life as a flight attendant is gonna be like, because again, your brain is a powerful tool. It's the most powerful tool you have, so use it. Practice yourself in these situations. It's the same way that I was like, practice the interview questions, because again, that's how you're going to go over there and you're going to perform when you're actually in the interview, even if it's not the same questions. At the end of the day, if you actually want this, and I'm not talking about you kind of want it, but if you want this, you're going to put in the work where the work needs to be put in. And that's kind of what I said at the beginning, is like, this isn't going to be all easy. Like some of them you can nail, but some of them are going to take time. They're going to take practice. So if you really want this job, if your soul is aching to be a flight attendant, take in what I'm telling you and practice and just imagine yourself as a flight attendant. And that's what you're going to become. Your thoughts turn into things. So make sure your thoughts are really good. They're feeding you stuff. And if you have any limiting beliefs on yourself, keep practicing that you don't. You know, do some journal writing, do whatever, research into this stuff, because I'll go on a tangent over here. I have to be careful because like I'll go off. We'll go into a whole different video topic. You'll be like, I clicked on how to get hired as a flight attendant and this girl is talking about laws of the universe. So what is the ideal flight attendant? What do they look like? How do they act like? How do they dress? What is the things that they do? Do they show up on time? Are they excited to meet people? Like what do they do? What do they embody? And then that's what you need to become, especially in your interview, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for, are you the person that embodies the ideal flight attendant? Because how you act in the interview is most likely how you're gonna act on the line. And tip number 9, remember when it comes to being a flight attendant, it is always safety first, customer service second. Safety is your top priority. Despite what some of these passengers may think or may treat you, and they think that your job is to get them a Diet Coke, light ice, and extra water, and a tea with cream and sugar. Despite that, which you're gonna be doing all that, but despite that, your job is safety. Your job is to be able to evacuate the plane. Your job is to be able to put out a fire. Your job is to be able to handle a medical emergency and not bat an eye. Like as soon as it happens, you need to put all your nerves and all your stuff aside, and your training immediately steps into play. Like they train you well. Like I'm telling you guys, I don't know if y'all saw this video where I had a medical emergency, but in that video I talked about how like all my training immediately came back. Like I didn't miss a beat. I was on it. And that's because the training is so good. Like these people are good at their jobs. Like they are good. Like they're gonna give you all the training you need. So what you need to know before they give you the training when you go to do your interview is, remember, it is always safety first. Safety is the top priority. Having a good flight, that's number 2. But I'd rather have you have a safe flight, get where you need to be, than a good flight. You might hate me at the end of it, but if you're safe, we're all good. And you know, that's one of the things about being a flight attendant that's tough, is some people don't understand that you're telling them, hey, put the bag underneath the seat in front of them, because if there's an emergency, all those people in that row need to get out. So sometimes people don't understand that. So you're gonna have to reinforce that, because again, I'd rather you have a safe flight and then a good flight. You know, we're trying to have a good flight. We want ideally both, but a safe flight first and foremost. So when you're answering questions in your interview, like let's say like Brad Pitt comes onto your flight, what do? Well, first off, you're gonna do all your safety stuff, and you're gonna do all your job priorities. And then number 2, you can go gush over Brad Pitt, you know? Like Brad Pitt's not first. Safety's first, Brad Pitt number 2. Brad Pitt number 3. Customer service number 2. And lastly, number 10. And that is to be yourself, but only to an extent. And I know some of you are like, Kat, what? Like, I've always been told to be myself. And I get it. Like, you're great. You're beautiful. You're lovely. You are just like a rose in the sunshine on a dewy morning, you know? But we all have like our quirks and our kinks and our stuff that it's just like, you want to be there and be who you're going to be on the plane, but maybe not your full self. Like, for example, you guys may not know this about me because I try not to do it on YouTube, and I definitely don't do it at my job, but I am what they call a potty mouth. I have the mouth of a sailor. I love every cuss word in the book, and I use them fairly often. But you know, there's a time and a place for that person versus there's a time and a place for the person that does not do that. And you know, that's kind of the thing that I'm talking in the interview is you want to be yourself. You want to let your personality shine, but you don't need to do everything that you would let your personality shine. At the end of the day, you're at an interview, and the way you would talk to your friends is probably not how you'd come to the interview and start talking. They are a pro at reading energies, reading personalities. They know when you're being phony. They know when they're being real. Like, that's their job to do it. I've said it time and time again. Like, that is their job to know when you're putting on an act. So make sure that either one, you're an award-winning actress, or number two, you bring out what's naturally beautiful about you, and maybe like we hide some of the stuff that's just not so beautiful. Be yourself, but also be yourself in the most professional setting possible. Keep the gossip and the extra stuff to a minimum. Really just enjoy where you're at. Enjoy like the presence, but don't forget you are at an interview. So be yourself up to an extent, and then don't. So hopefully after this you got at least one good point that you could take away and go to the interview with. And if you didn't, I'm so sorry. The only thing else I have to offer you is 1 month free Skillshare membership when you go and click the link down in the description box below to the first 1,000 of you that do that. But yeah, hopefully realistically you did at least get one point where you're like, that was valid, Kat. Like that one was good. If I did, go ahead and leave a comment below. Give this video a big old thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. And be sure to thank the real star of the show. She was sitting here being super cute on the new bed.